Hello, my lovely, beautiful Libras. Welcome back to the channel today. We are going to be doing your weekly reading for March 25th through April 7th. Hello. This is my little dog bear. She's just a little baby bear who wants all the love and affection as soon as I start talking. She's like, you must be talking to me. Okay. Oh, I know. Here, there you go. Okay. So sweet. We are doing your weekly reading for March 25th through April 7th. All right, you have week 1 here, Libra. Let's talk about week 2. Alrighty. Now, I've been doing something a little bit different with the readings for this week, simply because I really like oracle cards. I did a video a couple weeks ago where I went through all of my tarot and oracle decks. If you haven't seen that video yet, you should go and watch it. But I went through and looked at all of my tarot and oracle decks that I have for myself, and I realized, like, I don't use these near enough, and I just really like the extra little bit of information it gives the reading. So Libra, we're also going to start the reading off by pulling some oracle cards for you. So Libra, let's see what you got. You had 2 that kind of wanted to come out for that last one. So Libra, you get an extra one. You get 4. Your first oracle card is the Giraffe Spirit, which says, see the big picture. Bigger picture? See the big picture. Then you also have the Stag Spirit here, which says, take the lead. You also have the Rhino Spirit, which says, overcome any obstacle. And then you have the Whale Spirit, which says, trust the great mystery. Trust the great mystery, overcome any obstacle, take the lead, see the big picture. So it seems like, Libra, you are moving somewhere, and you need to get your focus out of the micro and into the macro. You need to see the bigger picture. You're kind of in this space of looking at just all the teeny tiny pieces. And when we get up like really, really close to something, you know, it makes it really easy for us to see the finer details. But it also makes it very, very hard to see the entire masterpiece. You know, you wouldn't want to look at the Mona Lisa by a tiny piece in the corner. You know, you certainly can, and I'm sure many art historians do look at just tiny pieces of this painting in order to find, you know, deeper mysteries about how it was made and things like that. But really, you're missing the beauty of the entire piece. You miss the magic that happens when you look at the entire portion of this. How everything fits together just right to make a masterpiece. Stag Spirit, take the lead. So you are leading yourself in a new direction. Don't get caught up in all the little bits and overcome any obstacle. You know, it's really easy when we go in a new path to be daunted by the things that come up against us. But all of these obstacles that are in our path come up as tests. They come up as things to further our resolve for what it is that we want to do or what we want to achieve. So with that in mind, Libra, we're going to go ahead and take a look at your tarot cards for the week and move on from those oracle cards. On Monday, March 25th, Libra, you have the Devil card. Now, interesting enough, the Devil card here, we have on the 25th a super full moon happening in the sign of Libra, and it's actually an eclipse. This is the start of eclipse season this year. And it's occurring in the sign of Libra to start off with this big full moon that we see. Not only is this the full moon before Easter, this is, I mean, of course, you know, this is the full moon that sets off our timing for Easter. This is, you know, a very, very big event for some religions within the world here. And this is a transformative time for you, Libra, and especially with this happening in your sign, whether it be Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever placement you're watching this for, Libra, having this big, major astrological, not astrological, I guess, but having this big moon event occur in direct relationship, in very close proximity to your Libra placement, it can be very challenging. The full moon is used to illuminate the things that maybe we still need to work on, or the things that need changed. And Libra, this devil card here is saying that something that needs changed here is you need to free yourself from the chains within your mind. When you see this card here, you can see that the stairs here are within the mind of this person, and it's leading out of their hindbrain. You know, it's not like the portion in the front of their brain where their third eye is. It's actually in the hindbrain, the brain of the subconscious and deeper knowing. So there could potentially be some subconscious things within your life that need to be changed on this level. The moon tends to illuminate things that we need to change, things that maybe we aren't necessarily proud of for ourselves, and it brings to light all the things that we want to leave within the It brings to light all the things that we want to keep hidden within the darkness. It brings all these things to the forefront, not because we are, being shamed or because we're being exposed for how awful we are, but it's because these things need to be brought to the light so that we can see them, so that we can, see the bigger picture that we want to achieve. We want to work through all of these darker, deeper parts of ourselves. They are part of us. They're never going to go away. But working with them and accepting them as a fact of life means that we can let them go and they stop controlling us and they stop having power over us. The stairs in this picture almost remind me of like The Labyrinth, the movie The Labyrinth with like David Bowie. And the stairs, the stairs scene is iconic where she screams like, "You have no power over me." And that's exactly what this is that your deep fears about yourself, your deep fears about the things that you feel ashamed of or that you want to keep hidden from other people. Don't allow these things to have power over you. Allow them to be released. Allow them to be acknowledged, and they will stop having so much control over you. This leads us on to your next card for Tuesday, which is the Nine of Cups. And this is the wish card of the tarot. I think that, when we have these events that are very challenging for us or very challenging for our person and ourselves, we have these opportunities that come afterwards. If we end up doing and resolving certain things within ourselves, we end up with this sense of freedom afterwards. We end up with this sense of completion and celebration and understanding that like we are so much stronger than what we typically give ourselves credit for. And so Libra, I feel like this is you needing to give yourself some more credit for how much you have done and how much you are still going to do and how much you are still going to accomplish. Because this card here is saying that even if you have to confront the parts of yourself that don't necessarily feel good or feel proud of, there's still things here that are working in a positive manner for you. There's still things here that are showing up for you to bring you light, love, positivity, celebration. And, make a wish. What do you want yourself or your future to look like? Take a look at this and make a wish and think about these things. This is a very powerful time for especially your wishes, Libra, to come true after this full moon. Your next card here, Libra, for Wednesday is the Lovers card. So some of you Libra is the planet, or not planet, Libra is ruled by the planet of Venus. And so, yes, this is always a sign that is associated with love, with positive energy, and, the energy of romance and things like that. With the Lovers card here, some of you could very well be reminiscing or feeling connected through romance, especially with that Nine of Cups card. That Nine of Cups with the Lovers is very romantic. wishing for, love or partnership, wishing for a deep connection with someone, like literally wishing for like a soulmate connection. With the Lovers card, though, it's about more than just a soulmate. The Lovers card is about trusting and being led. It has this sense of fate about it, where we are guided by a power higher than us, bringing two unlikely individuals together. This is also about the marriage of yourself and your higher self, right? Because you are first and foremost one of your own best partners to have within this life. And the more that you can become a better partner for yourself, work more with yourself and your unique perspectives and situations and quirks and things like that, the more that you learn to work with yourself, and to celebrate yourself, move into your highest self, the more that you attract these people within your life that can actually see you and recognize you for who you are. When you shine your unique light, you allow others to show up for you truly in your truest form, basically. Your next card here, Libra, for Thursday is the Princess of Cups in reverse. Now, this card is a little bit tough to deal with sometimes because the Princess of Cups is about our emotions. It's about how we handle our emotions. And with this card being in the reverse, this can almost have a sense of emotional reactivity to it. This is someone who, to some degree, they recognize that when they're lashing out, it's not necessarily for the best, but they get so caught up in the fire of their emotions. They get so caught up in with identifying with their emotions that when these big outbursts occur, it can be very, destructive for things around them. This can also have an air of self-sabotage to it. So, Libra, you're trying to move away from these feelings. I feel like something could possibly be happening on that Thursday that triggers you, right? Triggers the deeper emotional parts of you that you are still working with, that you are still healing. And it brings up this part of you that, you're not exactly very proud of. This does have an air of shame about it. So I do feel like, Libra, you are ashamed of the way that you respond to this event or this thing that happens. Like, part of you, I feel like, is aware that this isn't necessarily the proper or healthy response to this scenario, but it's something that you just get caught up in. Your next card here on Friday, Libra, is the Eight of Wands in reverse. So there is something, and I feel like it's related to that Nine of Cups card. Whatever it is that you have found yourself wishing to come in for this after the full moon in Libra here, it is not happening fast enough for you. And I feel like, overcome any obstacle with that Rhino spirit. I don't necessarily think that it's not happening fast enough because of an obstacle. I feel like the timeline itself is your very obstacle. I feel like you are on some sort of time crunch. It's so interesting because I can't quite pick up on what this thing is. I can't quite pick up on what this specific thing is, Libra. So I'm going to trust that you know what it is that you are wishing for or what it is that you're wanting to accomplish. But with that Eight of Wands in reverse, just have some patience. Things happen on their own timeline. Trust the great mystery with that whale spirit. Things happen on its own timeline for reasons that may not necessarily be obvious to you. It can be very hard to accept that things are working through the greater mystery of the universe and not through our own human timeline. We want to see things done on this world. We want it now. We're in a society that's very instant gratification. And so just practice patience, Libra. Practice patience in waiting and attracting and trusting really that things will happen for you when it is meant to happen. Your card on Saturday here, Libra, is the Six of Cups. So some of you could possibly be reminiscing or thinking about something from your childhood. This could be like a childhood friend coming back and reconnecting with you for this day and just talking with you, talking things out. you may just be feeling very sentimental and just thinking back a lot on the past and the people that have been within your life. The thing that you are trying to manifest with that Nine of Cups could very well be something that has been part of your past, in the past. Some of you may have had a dream, like a childhood dream about what you wanted to do when you grew up. Some of you may have had this idea, and I feel like it was almost something that like your brain just thought of when you were in the past, and all of a sudden you find yourself in this space. Life has this funny way of bringing us around to these things, so there very well could have been something that on an offhand comment within your past that you said, hey, I want to do this later on in life, and suddenly you find yourself in this place of almost being able to do that thing, or at least the opportunity being presented to you in this moment. Your last card for week 1 here, Libra, is the Tower. Now, I know that the Tower in the tarot can be a card that gets a lot of flack. It can be one that a lot of people see as like a very scary card. But I want to tell you that this card is not as scary as its reputation says it is, right? This card is about taking things down to the studs, tearing things down within our lives. We build up ourselves, our ego. We build up situations in our life to seem bigger than what they are, making mountains out of molehills. Building up our ego, as I said, building up our sense of holier than thou ego inflation. And so tearing these things down, we have to be torn down to the base. We have to be torn down to the foundation, to the studs, to build up something better for ourselves. So Libra, you have to get down to the very base. Part of that base is who you are. There's this, I'm reminded of the 5 koshas from I'm reminded of the koshas, the layers of the self from my yoga teacher training, right? The koshas are basically the layers, the illusions of separation of the self, right? So when you think about yourself, there's the physical body, there's the energy body that happens within our cells, there's the deeper intelligence, like how your heart knows how to beat without you thinking about it, or how your body digests or heals and grows without you actively participating. There's the layer of the mind, and then there's the final layer of the koshas on the deep inside, which is the true self. And these layers get the suffix at the very end, the names of them end with Maya, which is about the illusions. We have this illusion of the separations of ourself, our separation of ourself from source, from God, from the universe, whatever it is that you believe. We have this illusion that we are separate from the world around us or from people around us, that we are separate from source and light and energy, and really we are all part of it. We are not actually separate. We are all interworking parts of the whole. And so getting in touch with that inner knowing of who you are, Libra, getting in touch with your soul, that portion of light that you carry within you, that is the light of source. That is the light of universal consciousness and love and hope. Getting torn down to the studs and the foundations gives you a chance to see who you really are on the inside. The unchanging part of you. You know, our bodies may change in age, but our deep inner self, our inner soul never changes. We always have this worthiness and light within us that no matter what happens, no matter what layer we put over it, no matter what lens we try to put this box in, the actual essence of the soul, of the whole, never changes. And so getting torn down to the studs gives you an option, gives you a chance to actually see this for yourself and see yourself in a new light without the layers tainting your perception of self. That brings us on to week 2 here, Libra. And week 2, we start off on Monday. It's actually April 1st. So this second week here, the first week of April, is really the starting of a whole new month for you. A lot of you are looking at this month as an opportunity to start fresh, to start anew. And so with this first card on Monday, April 1st, you have the Five of Cups in reverse. This card is about perspective. What perspective are you viewing your circumstances as at this time? Because we had that card of overcome any obstacles with the Rhino Spirit. Are you viewing your obstacles as an opportunity for you to double down on your motivation and reason behind why you want to achieve this, or why you want to wish for this Nine of Cups here? The obstacle, some of you could also be seeing the obstacle as something that is guiding you away from this, something that is blocking you from it. So it's all about perspective. It's all about how you are choosing to look at and view this problem. Are you viewing it as an opportunity or as an obstacle? I know, we said obstacle a bunch of times. It's starting to not feel like a real word. Draft Spirit, see the big picture. I know that we talked about this already a little bit, but I feel like the big picture here, Libra, is that there is something within you that is changing. You're going through a sort of inner metamorphosis where you're finding that at this time, the things that you want for yourself are not necessarily aligning with the world that you find yourself in. You're getting ready to prepare for a big shift of yourself. And part of that is brought on by this Libra full moon that we're talking about at the beginning of week 1. But it's preparing you for this shift. And the starting of the shift really happens when we start to look around and realize that our current environment is not where we want to be. Our current environment is not helping our growth. It's actually hindering our growth. And once we start to recognize that our environment is not where we want to be, it's not conducive to our growth, we start to think about what do we want instead. And I feel like you're just at the very beginning stage of this, where you're just now realizing that this space that you find yourself in is not where you want to be. Moving on to Tuesday on week 2, you have the Empress card here, Libra. The Empress is a person who trusts her ability to grow whatever it is that she wants. So Libra, I feel like a lot of you are stepping into this place. This really has like a dreamy quality to it in from what I'm feeling right now. This card has a dreamlike quality to it. So I feel like Libra, a lot of you are starting to think about the dream that you have for yourself. As I was saying before, thinking about where your current place is and whether or not it's conducive to your current well-being. Well, a lot of you are realizing it's not and starting to dream about what a different future for yourself would look like, what a different opportunity would be. What do you want your ideal world to look like? And then, Stag Spirit, take the lead. Take the lead and start to recognize that you have the power to change your circumstances at any point in time. Regardless of, how it feels sometimes. I know we can be victims of circumstance. It's very easy to blame the world and entropy for our problems, but really things just happen, and it's really easy to try to find blame, but really we need to focus on not blaming, and we need to focus on action. About actually, what are we going to do with this? What does this mean for me? How am I going to use this circumstance to be for the better and not for the worse? Your next card here for Wednesday, week 2, is the Three of Cups in reverse, followed by the Three of Pentacles in reverse on Thursday. I want to talk about both of these cards at the same time because they're both threes and they're both in the reverse. So the Three of Cups in reverse and the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So something about this world that you find yourself in, I feel like this could very well be the moment that you realize that things are not working right at this time. The Three of Cups in the reverse is disharmony within your relationships, and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse is disharmony within the flow and synergy of your work and your energy. So for some of you, that could be that your relationships, like friendships or even, yes, sometimes partnerships, could be requiring a lot more resources from you. Could be money resources, energy resources, time resources, whatever the case may be. I feel like a lot of you are noticing this disharmony between your current place. And like I said, we already kind of talked about that a little bit. I feel like these cards are just kind of more confirming that there is something here that is just not quite sitting right with you, Libra. Even though maybe at one point this world that you wanted to be in felt like this was where you wanted to be. You know, at one point you maybe felt that. But I feel like a lot of you are kind of waking up to, you know, something not being right here. Something being a little bit off. Ooh, I'm thinking about Coraline right now. It's one of my favorite movies, so I think about it a lot. But this almost feels like the other world, right? In Coraline, if you haven't seen the movie, or read the book or whatever, there's this, you know, other world that Coraline finds herself with, where there's, you know, games, and it seems like at first like it's a paradise, but really it's hiding a monster and stuff underneath. And so I feel like that's kind of what this is, you know, Coraline was in a situation where she wished for things to be different. She wished for, you know, parents that did fun things and let her do whatever she wanted. She wished for games and friends and to not be lonely and all this stuff. And, you know, that need was met in a way. It was met with the underlying, you know, expectation that she would sew buttons into her eyes, right? And so I feel like some of you, you know, you maybe wished for this place within your life at one point. You maybe wished for this circumstance that you now find yourself in. And you're just realizing, like, all of a sudden that maybe you have been duped a little bit in some way. You've been given something that is not quite what you wanted. Well, I mean, it was what you wanted, but it's what you thought you wanted and not what you really needed. Moving on here, Libra, your card for Friday on week 2 is actually the Justice card in reverse. And this card is actually the card in the tarot that is related to the sign Libra. All right, so Libra, this is you. I mean, you know, we even have the scales here, the scales of justice here, where we weigh the right and the wrong. I feel like you really find yourself in an upside down place. I feel like you find yourself in an area where you don't really recognize yourself right now, Libra. There are so many things that are changing, and like I said, I feel like you're waking up to this idea that things are different for you right now. I feel like you literally, like, it's like waking up in the uncanny valley. Things just don't feel right. Everything feels wrong. Everything feels off. You're trying to figure out what this change means for you. Trying to figure out, how does this change affect me, and what kind of transformation is this going to bring for me? I feel like a lot of you are finding yourself in this place of reinvention. Or at least, even if you're not currently reinventing yourself, you're waking up to the idea that something isn't right here. Something isn't working. And I just feel like, you know, we're looking on the micro scale of things. Draft spirit, see the big picture. The big picture here, Libra, is that things are not working like they used to. What used to work for you at one point is something that probably doesn't work for you anymore. Something from your past that maybe felt like a blessing initially to you, Libra, is turning out to be something that you were completely wrong about, and it's shaking you to your core. I mean, we talked about the tower, things being brought down to the studs, and now you find yourself in a place where you don't necessarily recognize who you are. It is shaking you so much to your core that you almost wonder if this thing has actually changed you. I feel like to some degree it has, and because of this change to you, not to who you are internally, because like we said, you know, that magic of the self is always inside. It's whether or not we recognize it. And I feel like without all these protective layers that you have built up on yourself over time, or these expectations of the self, I feel like that's a lot of what this is you built up expectations on who you should be. You put yourself in a place of trying to fit into this box. And once you have removed these layers, once you have taken yourself out of this box, it's almost as if you have tried so hard to cut pieces away of yourself that you've kind of forgotten who you are, forgotten what you looked like. It's almost like I'm kind of getting this image of like trying to cut away so many pieces of the self that like you end up, it ends up disfigured in a way. Not that you can actually cut the self away, but I feel like you have tried so hard to actually add on, to change so much, that when you take these things away, you don't recognize yourself without these layers and these pieces. Let's keep going though. Your very next card for Saturday on week 2 though is the Ace of Swords. This indicates clarity of mind, clarity of thought. This is the new thought as well, the new idea. So I feel like this could actually be you cutting away the old layers of the self, the old lenses that which you tried to view yourself through, or the restraints that you have put on yourself to try to please others. This is your tool of doing. This is your tool of doing that. You have clear mind and intellect about it. Clear discernment about what is you and what is not of you. And I feel like this is the time to cut away all of those layers, cut away all of those things that are holding you back from actually being who it is that you want. You want to be this new version of yourself, and in fact, you're cutting away all the things that are holding you back from doing this. And your last card for week 2 here, Libra, is the Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, the Queen of Swords in reverse is the one who wields the Ace of Swords. She does wield the Ace of Swords there within her grasp. So, I know that I said that you are cutting away, but I feel like this is more your doubling down decision on cutting away, whereas the Queen of Swords is, I almost feel this sense of fear about it. You know what you have to do, you know what needs to be removed, but you are questioning whether you have the strength to do it. And I think that, we have the Stag spirit here. Take the lead. You are the one who gets to lead your life. You are the one who gets to lead your reality, Libra. So cut away the BS, cut away all the things that are holding you back from doing this. Trust in yourself, trust in your greater vision for who you are, for who you want to be. See the big picture. See the big picture of who you really are on the inside, the truth of who you are. Before we end the reading today, I wanted to pull one last card for you. This is from my Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. And this deck here is a positive message from the universe to take with you into this upcoming week ahead here. So your card here, Libra, says, in any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So Libra, you are connected to love. I mean, literally, you are associated with the planet Venus. You are connected to love and love energy. And you can connect to it at any time through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. So in this moment, when you are feeling very confused about what you should do, when you are feeling very off kilter, feeling very upside down because you feel like things aren't how they used to be, or things aren't how you thought or expected them to be, reconnect with the love of the universe, reconnect with your love, inner love towards yourself, love towards the world, and it's going to help you recalibrate and recenter yourself to move forward on the path ahead. So anyway, Libra, that is your reading for this week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading was able to help you and help guide you in some way. Thank you for being here again today, Libra, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your week.